Hey guys, and welcome to Russian Horror Story. It is October, so I feel obligated to do horror games. So I've had this in my Steam library for a long time and just didn't know when to play it, new game, I guess. So this is apparently based on a true story, and the art style's a little weird, but let's not judge based on looks, right? Okay. I politely said goodbye to my student. I'm actually quite nice when I'm not ill, and closed all the locks on my front door. It was heavy, metal, and pick-proof. The first thing I bought at the new place. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 locks. And there's wires. Looks like a security system. I don't really like this part of town, so I have to make my home my castle. It's not really in the farthest suburb of Moscow, but the houses look like they're from the rough quarter of some country town. The residents weren't any less depressing either. It was like I went back to the tumultuous 90s. Ugh, I've never seen that word before. But some time ago, my parents fell for the cheap housing. So now, on my return to motherland from a small European country, I moved into this dump. Indeed, motherland was dull in comparison, but who said I couldn't decorate to my almost European taste? No one. Except laziness and low income. Then again, I'm not that lazy, and I already started working on the income part. Found some students and started tutoring. A good private tutor can be rather well off in Moscow. I gave today's student a practice exam instead of regular lessons. He failed miserably, but I didn't let him get too upset and started to explain. First of all, he should be happy that this wasn't the real exam. Second of all, now I can clearly see what he needs to be taught and can make adjustments to plans of following lessons. And to top it off, this I didn't say aloud, I didn't expect anything else of a typical modern school's graduate. The thought of our reformed education made me grind my teeth and even start swearing. How could they turn the world's best schools into factories producing new generations of idiots? When I was looking for students to tutor, I stopped by prep courses at universities and posed as an undergraduate applicant. Why not? I look young. It's easy to get lost in a crowd of potential clients. I went into the wrong classroom once and ended up joining a history class where one bright girl told us that Lenin was a Tsar. The scariest part was that only 2 people laughed. Me and the teacher. Don't even get me started on my majors. Math and physics. Oh, the horror there. However, it's not that easy to destroy a whole nation's ability to think. There will always be people who want to learn, but just need help. I hoped to be aiding that noble cause. Humans are capable of anything, especially of using the magic of redecoration to turn a crappy old apartment into a decent place for a young family. I may not be a magician yet, but I'm on the right track. So what if I'm not a specialist? I'm quite capable of hiring a couple of Europeans from Moldova and Ukraine for European-style home improvement. And of course, making sure that they make a nice home for me and my wife. Which reminds me, it's time to call my sweetie and tell her that she can come move in with me soon. She could have lived with me now, but Moscow hotels and rental apartments are a nightmare. With all that spending, it would be impossible to save up for renovations, whereas I can live even among building supplies. Moreover, the worker's fragile psyche will get less damage from seeing the boss in his underpants than it would from seeing a half-dressed young beauty. I wonder what she's doing. Why don't I call her now and find out? I don't know why, but talking to my wife didn't improve my mood. Who knew we had such a strong connection? It's like in some probably chick flick. Some chicklet. Oh, I don't know. I felt depressed, up to the point of getting drunk, nestling in someone's shoulder and scalding it with my hot tears. Problem is, I don't drink, and I don't have any friends with waterproof shoulders in Moscow. There was also the option of zoning out in front of the idiot box, but I have even less respect for TV than alcohol. A bowl of steaming crap has more truth in it. It also causes less brain damage than radiation from all these television towers encrusting our giant inhabited island. Speaking of that island, I recently ran into 2 schoolboys by the metro, both about 10 years old. One of them asked the other in astonishment, "Is the Earth really round?" After his friend's affirmative response, he pointed at the sky. "Does that mean that there are people up there too?" I laughed. Then, but now it made me even sadder. What's wrong with this glorious country and these wonderful people? What are we coming to? What are we turning into? And on that not so cheerful thought, I started falling asleep chanting, "It's going to be all right," like a mantra. That's a generic female scream. A female shriek came from next room. A dreadful scream full of pain and despair. I'm gonna save. Okay. I jumped out of bed like it was on fire. What the? I thought I was alone. My hair stood on end. I never thought this phrase was so accurate. I tried to pull myself together and forcefully exhaled a couple times. Calm down, Yvonne. Be rational. There's no such thing as ghosts. You're a grown man. What do people do in situations like this? Oh, I remember. They go to check what's going on. That's exactly what gets them killed in horror films. Now I'll cut off your other arm. Holy crap, do I have an evil ghost in there? Finally, I managed to get a grip on myself, wiped the sweat off my forehead, and opened the next room's door. Empty! But someone's voice came from somewhere below again. Freeze! Put your hands behind your head. This is the FBI. Dang it! It was the neighbors watching TV on maximum volume. The trembling wouldn't stop. I even came up to the mirror and checked for new gray strands in my hair. Seemingly, there weren't any. My t-shirt was stuck to my back. Huh. You, sir, are a coward. If you think about it, hearing female death cries from the next room when you're home alone is enough to justify the pile of bricks. Enough. Sleep. 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 They must be kidding. Apparently they've added even more volume. I grabbed a screwdriver and pounded on the battery. Come on, people. You're not alone in this building. It's almost midnight. I'll break the screwdriver if I keep this up. In vain, for nothing. No reaction. I stomped and jumped on the floor a little bit. Then I tried pounding on the floor with a stool. And I think I heard some noise. They can't be serious. They hit the battery. So I would stop making noise? I'm the one making noise? That's it. This is outrageous. I threw a shirt on and headed toward the front door. Time to meet my downstairs neighbors. I walked downstairs and faced the door of my noisy neighbors. Looks flimsy and their light is dim. It's imprinted with someone's dirty fingers and fly butts. Fly butts? Anyway, I'm not here to read a book. The decorations are good enough to have an argument. I filled my lungs with air, reached for the doorbell, and exhaled. No doorbell, only 2 bare old wires. Oh, of course. Why fix the doorbell if you could just throw it away? Let the guests connect the wires. Too bad I didn't think of bringing my rubber gloves. I touched the wire. It was so dirty that I once more regretted not bringing gloves. The unpleasant doorbell sounded behind the door, and gunshots. Must be the FBI. I had to connect the wires twice more, and only then did I hear someone shuffling behind the door. The Judas hole, blurred like the eye of a boiled perch, went dark. Who? Your dang neighbor. Then I realized the voice behind the door was elderly and regretted being so harsh. I'm from the upstairs apartment, here to introduce myself. I heard a creaking sound, which made me imagine someone unfolding a drawbridge to crush me. I even stepped back as if the door could really fall on me. The creaking ended with a click. Dang, their lock must be old. Probably as old as the apartment's owner. A crack appeared in the door, just enough for the old lady in the most unkempt clothes to see me. What do you want? Hello, I'm your neighbor from upstairs, Ivan Naumov? And I... Naumov? Are those your relatives living in this house? Yes, mine. Those were actually the relatives that recommended this cheap housing to my parents. Can you turn down the television, is what he said. Basically. Yeah, of course. Will do. And slammed the door. Despite that rude gesture of hers, I felt much better. When I was stepping into my apartment, I even thought, be nice to people and they will... I've been shot! Oh! This dang person put a bullet in me. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. I am... Oh, that's a word. And they will ignore you. I was still hoping the granny hasn't reached the TV yet to turn down the volume. There she is, walking down the corridor, scraping the linoleum with her brown felt slippers and holding on to the stained brown wallpaper. Why do I think everything's brown? Walking. How much longer can it take? Leave me, partner. Save yourself. Maybe she decided to drop by the bathroom on the way? Like one Russian comedian said, being old is when you bend down to tie your shoelaces and try to think of what else you can do while you're down there. I'll shoot your... Ah! Alright, so the old lady peed and decided to poop and read the air freshener, studied every number of the barcode on an unopened roll of toilet paper, went back to the air freshener to compare Kazakh text to Russian. Oh, I hate it. You know how your freaking Discord pops up messages so you can look at it? Well, my freaking Discord, when it does that, when it pops up a message, I can't click on anything. It doesn't register it at all. I hate it. I don't know why it does that. It's really annoying. Nah, old ladies probably don't do that. They don't have the eyesight for it. What is it they do then? I'll avenge you, brother. Looks like they sleep. And there's no better lullaby for old ladies than screams of foreign policemen. Now, I thought I heard the drain. Was I right about the bathroom? Or am I lying to myself? I'll rip your heart out. Through your butt. Crap, that sounds serious. Wonder how our granny is doing. I hope she didn't accidentally rip something out of herself. I went to another room, then the bathroom, and finally went to the kitchen. Thank goodness that at least here I can't hear the screams and gunshots. I brewed some green tea, waited, poured out the bitter part, and made it again. Now I can drink it. With cookies. In peace and quiet. There. Now I've had enough tea and I'm stuffed with cookies. Time to go back to bed. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Great! Now I'll have to listen to lullabies every night? No way. I went downstairs and connected the wires. Who? She can see me in the Judas hole. Or is she sclerosic? Probably forgot about all about our conversation. That must be why she didn't turn down the volume. It's Yvonne. From upstairs. So she remembers. Could you do me a favor and turn down the television? Would that cause you too much trouble? Yeah. Of course, I'll do it. I went home with a strong feeling of deja vu. I've been shot! What's this? Groundhog Day? I went straight to the kitchen and reached for the tea. Green tea always calmed me, but today it just wouldn't work for some reason. Yellow slush beer is made with only natural ingredients. So I've heard. Plug tampons will give you the freedom of movement for the whole day. Yeah, now I know what's keeping you from moving. The president of Rolandia talked to the president of Krakozia at a shirt sleeve meeting. What the crap is going on? Well, at least it wasn't pant sleeve. In these weeks, or months, holy crap, the music's really loud. It just like got louder all of a sudden. In these weeks, or months, how long has this nightmare been going on? Seems like forever. I've turned into a guy that talks to the TV. The only difference is that I don't even have a TV. But that's okay. I have neighbors downstairs. They'll always help me out. They'll always help out and make their TV loud enough for me to hear anywhere in my apartment. Tutoring is getting worse and worse. My students are close to leaving me because it's impossible to work in these conditions. I don't get enough sleep. I am an early bird, and my zombie neighbors are, from the look of it, night owls. Relatives told me that the granny has a booze-head son, which brings home hoodlums, and they drink together. Turns out he's going to be bothering me too soon. Like the old woman wasn't enough. Nothing helped. I even stopped going downstairs to talk to them. I just call their landline and ask them to stop ruining my life. The old woman's son, Valentine, picked up the other day. He barked and spit into the receiver. All I could understand was swearing, so I put the phone down, seeing that a meaningful conversation wasn't going to happen. He couldn't call back. Their home phone doesn't show my mobile number. Judging by the ringing I sometimes hear from downstairs, they're phones with a rotary dial. My phone call seems to have upset Valentine, because the TV immediately got even louder than usual. There was no point in exercising anymore. Morning exercises will do good for a healthy body, whereas my tired, exhausted, from lack of sleep body would only suffer. Talking to my wife brought some comfort when her voice wasn't drowned out by the sounds of Granny's beloved action films and thrillers. Rather quickly, I realized that my neighbors and I wouldn't get along. I need my new renovation concept, sound insulation, but the prices quickly changed my mind. It's probably cheaper to bring materials from Saratov or something, myself. As it turned out, even Saratov buys materials in Moscow, so buying the materials there would be even more expensive. That option is off the table. I could choose cheaper materials and do basic sound insulation, but that wouldn't help much. Considering the noise levels, I need a room in a room. Better two, another one for the living room.